Okay. Queen, welcome
Well,
to
thank you for having me.
Ebony Tree Council's office. We are honored. Listen, the idea that you take time out of your schedule to share your journey that can impact another child is just phenomenal.
I
That's
hope
the
so.
beauty. So I'm ready. Please creatively introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Jasmine Moore. I am 32 years old, young, excuse me. Um, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, and I currently reside here in Evans, Georgia. I've been here about 8 years, and I am
Wonderful.
the coffee shop lead at Starbucks.
Wonderful. And more, is there more that you could tell us about you? There's so
Oh,
much
of
more to you.
course.
Let me
I
let me just share, audience, that she is the reason I go to the Starbucks that I go to, because she makes it a whole moment. She is everything that Starbucks needs and requires.
thank you.
So,
I'm so coy sometimes. I
yeah.
just I hear that often, that everyone comes to see me, and sometimes I wonder what it is about me that keeps bringing people in, and so that's so heartwarming to hear, and I love that.
But I
It's
can
why I
tell
keep
you,
going.
yeah, yeah, because I remember when you were a little apprehensive to go in there. So I appreciate that you came back in full force and in full effect.
Yeah,
Let's go on and
thank-
talk about that. Um, so I just I want to jump right into this because I do have a sense of who you are. And
Mhm.
so we're gonna start at high school.
Ooh,
We're gonna start with high school, Queen.
what a time.
What a time. Tell the audience how high school life was for you.
Um, High school was, I wish I would have appreciated it more. It was
Mm,
it was definitely a time for me. Freshman year
mm,
was kind of rough. We I had a lot of issues with keeping my grades up and things like that. And then by my sophomore year, I started to get pretty rebellious.
mm.
And so I was 16. I'll tell everyone, I was 16 and pregnant before it was a trend. And
Oh gosh.
that right there was just a life altering. I didn't realize until I was much older just how rough that was, and what I was actually going to be going into, because I have 5 children, but I tell
Mm.
everyone that I don't think that I became a mother until I had the second one.
Wow.
When because I was still a child myself, so I didn't know what it meant to become a mom, and everyone was had their opinions about what it meant to be a teen parent, but I didn't know what that meant. And I saw a lot of my friends
Wow.
struggling, and because there was this really cool thing. I don't know if it was, yeah, it's cool. There was this group called Lunch Bunch, and every month
Mm,
it was through the YWCA, and once a month they gathered all the teen moms in the school, and we had
yes.
lunch together. They would feed us, and we would talk about,
Mm,
you know, nutrition. Just they just gave us everything that we needed to become parents, or if we were already parents.
mm.
I actually
Okay.
received scholarship to go to college from that
Wow.
program. It was what I needed, because I got to see other girls' perspective, girls that had been mothers already and still going through school. So that's what motivated me to stay in school and graduate. So I saw a lot of girls get pregnant and drop like flies. That was
Wow.
they didn't have any
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
So it was It was rough, but we made it through. She was
Yeah.
my, I could hear her on my graduation day singing her ABCs.
Oh, nice,
And she was
nice.
loud.
Okay. Now, for our audience, we tend to target the 15 to 22-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. With that, you're saying you learned that you should have appreciated high school more. What
Mhm.
would you tell our audience that was the moment, that the thing that you should have appreciated in your journey with high school? What, give us that reflective moment. What is that
Just the,
appreciation? Because that was powerful.
yeah,
You said.
the freedom of it, just adulting can
Mm,
be great, but there's some wonderful things about being an adult now, but just being a kid.
freedom of youth.
Yes, and
The freedom of
enjoying the
youth.
time there. I was just so eager to grow up, just
Ah,
enjoy that moment.
that's that part right there, ma'am. Let's just talk about the whole idea of enjoying growing up, enjoying that moment to be young, knowing that feeling. Sometimes, our kids, that's why we like to say we like to extend them beyond their experiences. Our kids don't get to
Yep.
feel that. And so the fact that you had it
Mhm.
and our kids don't sometimes, could you talk a little more about that?
I think now that my daughter she's 16 herself,
Yes.
and I know now just from my personal experience that I want her to live her best life and pour into her everything that I didn't get when I was her age. And so
Mm,
I think that a lot of my rebellion came from being sheltered. And so
mm,
let me go back a little bit though. When it came down to apply for college and everything, I did
mm,
all that on my own. I didn't have a lot of help with that. It was just I knew who to go to get the help, and I did that.
yes.
And coming up after I had her, it was just, well, Jasmine, you might have to go get a job and just work, go to technical school. And not that
Mm,
there's anything wrong with that, but I always
yes.
knew that I want to have the full college experience. And so thank God for my mother. she has
Yay,
always
mom.
she has always been my rock because she
Oh,
helped me and she still does. I'm married and she still is in full mom mode. And I know that it never goes away, but I didn't have anyone telling me, well, you should do this and you can do this. So I did it all myself just so I could prove a point that I could do it.
mm.
And I got
So,
in and did it. And so I tell her, you know what you want to do, because she wants to go to school. She wants to be an engineer.
mm,
And I didn't know what I wanted to do then.
mm,
And she does. And so I've just kind of poured all the knowledge that I do have into her so she doesn't have any setbacks that I did have. And so I think
okay.
it's important that that children nowadays have that, that
Yes.
support.
I think that is incredibly important. But what you touched on, my husband liked to say nuggets. Um, you spoke on, you pushed through to prove a point.
Mhm.
I think that's pivotal in the sense that we teach our kids so early on to push through,
Mhm.
to become independent before they know how to be teens.
Yeah.
And so when situations arise in their teens, they're like, oh, I got to push through. When in actuality, you got to lean on your people.
Yeah. Oh no.
And in that you're saying your mom
Mhm.
um, is your rock. You had, it sounds like those tools to be successful. but you also were given information that forced you down a path of being independent when
Yeah.
you had every right to still be dependent
Mhm.
upon those in your village. So I get that. And our kids need to know that it's okay to lean on your village.
It is. It very
It's
much.
scary. No, it's scary. I'm not going to deny
Yeah.
that. You're like, ooh, what they gonna do? But
Yeah.
if you're in that right nurturing environment, it's a beautiful thing. And if you're not, it's still a beautiful thing. And I love what you did. You seeked out help.
I did. I had a wonderful support system through school. Looking back on
Wonderful.
it now, I felt like I didn't, but I 100% did because my mother, grandmother,
Mm.
um, I was in marching band. So
Hmm?
my teachers,
Not a band kid.
I played the clarinet all 4 years.
I love it.
We I did JROTC for a couple years, and I was pregnant during that time. And my
Oh, wow.
the colonel, once he found out I was pregnant, he said, "Now, Jasmine, why didn't you tell me? You've been out here running
Mm.
this track and everything."
Hmm.
I said, "Well, no, I could do it. I wouldn't go let myself hold back." But he said, "If you need anything, just let me know."
Again, ding, ding, ding. You pushing yourself through independence when you're still young.
Yeah.
There's a thread here. I'm starting to see a thread, but we're gonna keep going on because I'm sure that thread's gonna come up again. Um, with that, with all that you just spoke about through high school, um, what advice would you give your high school self, man?
Oof. You know what I think I would say? Hmm. Follow your passions.
Ooh, I love that. That's so us.
100%.
Yes. Go ahead. Keep speaking.
Follow
Yes.
your, because after I graduated, I went to school, and I went to Elizabeth City,
Mhm.
and I spent 2 years there,
Oh, wow.
and I was done. we I started majoring in biology, and I was pre-dent, and then I was like, no, this isn't for me. So I changed it to psychology, and I
Oh,
picked up a minor in criminal justice. So I like the way the mind works and the way people think. I've always been intrigued with that, but
am.
I just I felt like I was doing it for everyone else. I felt like I
Mm.
needed to be a doctor,
Mm.
that label on me, and it was never really something that I was truly passionate about doing.
Whoa.
And so
Okay, that's wait,
I
ma'am.
regret going to college.
Ma'am,
I'm
the
sorry.
pivot. No, the pivot, ma'am. Let's talk about you recognizing your pivot was required for you to get to where you needed to be. The fact that you were self-reflective in that at such a young age is powerful. You want to let no one ever tell you that wasn't happening. Reflection and making decisions based on how you are going to be improved by
Mhm.
it is huge. Um, but you were, that's to speak on to our audience how significant it is to walk in your passion.
Oh my gosh. Whew. I think that ultimately you will be happier in life if you walk in your truth and walk in your passion. It's just you can't do anything and be happy about it if you're just always concerned about how it's going to affect someone else. You have to worry about you, because at the end of the day, you came to this earth alone in some cases, and you're going to leave it alone. And you want to say that you did everything that you wanted to do and how you want to do it on your terms. You don't want to have any regrets. And I can say now that I don't have any regrets in my life. I made some probably poor choices, but but I learned something from it.
Don't we all? Don't
Yes.
we all?
The important thing
I'm
is
still
I learned
making
something.
choices.
Yes.
Listen, I still make questionable choices, okay? It's the nature of the beast that helps you grow,
Yes.
helps you grow.
100%.
If
100.
you ain't out here making mistakes at something, you're not living.
Right. And I tell
You're not
myself
living.
all the time when something seems to be going wrong in my life, I just
Mhm.
stop and I say, what is the lesson in this? What do you need to change about this, Jasmine?
Ooh, what is the lesson in this?
Because
Okay.
the girls tell me at work all the time, like, Jasmine, you're just so calm. You don't let anything affect you. I said, well, it affects me, but I'm not going to let it stress me out.
It's
There's
not
a
gonna be
reason for
look, and it's not gonna be evident on the job. That what
exactly.
that. So, with all of this knowledge that you have at such a young age, Queen, who influenced you to be this great in your thought process?
Oh, see, the only person that came up, and now I'm getting teary eyed, is
It's okay.
my mom,
Oh,
my mother. I
mom.
know a lot of people say that, but like my mom is just everything to me. She is, which we fought all the time when when I was younger. But like
Speak
I just
on
have
that part right there, real quickly. Because are
girl,
you think that they're not going to be battles with their parents or battles they can't overcome?
yeah, which I see it now having a teenager that,
Mm,
I get it. But she just, at the end of the day, she has always just wanted the best for me, no matter what it
yes,
was.
yes.
Yes, she would have liked if I became a doctor or some, any other thing. But as long as I see now that as long as that I'm happy, that's all she
Yeah,
wants.
that's it.
So we butt
That's
heads
it.
when I was coming up, and especially when I um, got pregnant and everything. But she has always stood in my corner. She has never let me down. And I've seen
Wow.
her. My mom worked 3 jobs when we were kids,
Mm,
and she was in the military. And then I remember her working at the hospital cafeteria, and she cleaned houses on the weekends, and so sometimes she would be gone for drill every once a month, and I just saw her work so hard, and I said, well, I don't want to have to work that hard, but I appreciate her,
ooh, ooh,
appreciate
see
everything that
that
she
part.
does. I appreciate it. I don't ever want to have to work that hard. And she's always said that to me. Like, you shouldn't have to want to work that hard the way I did.
That's yeah. See, we at ETC, we're trying to establish roots for our
Hmm.
children where they don't have to work as hard as their parents
Hmm.
because they are following their passions. They're
Yes,
not living for their parents. They're living for themselves and what
100%.
their legacy will be. Because it all connects to their parents, but at some point we have to start doing things that bring us joy
Hmm.
so that we can be better for our parents, our community, for the health of our
Yes,
community.
as a
So
whole.
so it has so much connectivity to it. So what is your passion now? What are you passionate about?
um, I have, so let me go back again. So I quit school
Mhm. Mhm.
and I didn't, I had the opportunity to just kind of chill for some years, and I did. And I started doing, I said, this looks cool. And I got into interior design. And so I applied with the art institutes and I started taking the classes. And then my workload got too heavy to do the classes. And so I stopped. But recently, me and my husband were cleaning things out, and he found some of my sketches and things. And honestly, I had never told him about it. And he said, "What is this?" He thought it was Jalen's, and I was like, "Oh, those are mine. Put that back." And, he said, "Why did you stop doing this?" And I said, "I just got too busy." And he's like, "But you're really good." Like, I said, "Well, I don't, I don't know." And I just kind of, brushed it off. But he just keeps poking at me. So, are we going to go back to school? Or,
Nice.
doing really good at that. So, I mean,
So
interior,
are we going
we haven't
interior
yet.
design?
We have not yet. I haven't looked into it. It was a little expensive.
Mm.
So we're gonna get some other things together, and I will one day. I'm not gonna say maybe. I will. I know I will, because that's what I loved it. I had so much fun. It wasn't. I didn't feel like I was doing work. I was learning something, and it was so cool. I loved looking at furniture and can tell you what era it came from, where it was inspired from. I
Yes.
love history, but we
Mm.
one day it's coming. I don't know when, but I'll let you know. But that was a passion, and I hate that I put it on the back burner. But I want to finish something, and I want to show my kids that it's important to finish.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how long it takes you, just as long as you finish.
So we've talked about high school, and we've talked about your journey through high school and your passion, how you connect those things and where you're going from that. I want to talk a little bit about your career,
Yes.
what you're doing now. First of all, how long have you been working at Starbucks?
I have been at Starbucks 6 years.
6 years, and you've worked your way all the way up to management, ma'am.
I
Huh?
was offered the position within my first year there. And
Wow.
the manager at the time, Monica Riley, because she's
Mhm,
amazing. She
mhm.
They were opening the Grovetown store, and she was
Yes.
going over there, and she presented. She said, would you like to?" And I was like, "Girl, what?" Because initially, just I was just needing a job. I didn't think that I would be running anything or doing anything like that with it in the first year. And so I was like, "Really?" She was like, "If you want it, it's yours." And so she took the time to train me on everything. And I will say that we couldn't cram everything in the time frame that we had. And
Mhm.
so it took me a couple years to get a good rhythm on how to do things and
Mm.
how things ran and operated. And the district manager at the time, he I was just honest with him, like, "Look, bro, I I've never been in a management position, and I don't know certain things I didn't know." He loved that I said I didn't know things. I didn't try to pretend or put it out there. I said,
That
"I
part
didn't
right
know."
there, queen. That part right there. Our young need to know it's okay to say,
Yes, you don't have to know everything. It's so
I
because
don't
some
know.
don't know, someone's going to tell you.
Someone's going to tell you. I just love that. I don't know.
You're
I just
you're going
and
to get to
see,
know.
and let me just tell you, as you say things, I'm writing them down. I take notes because there are things that are so pivotal that you say in the course of a conversation. You don't even get how impactful our words could be to someone else.
Mhm.
But what you just said, saying, I don't know, that's it right
Yeah.
there. That's it. So when you see me peeking down, I'm writing too. I'm writing as well. And so, yeah, you worked your way up to management. How long did it take for her to ask you? What, a year?
Yep. It was within my first year there that I had was offered the position,
Wow.
and we've been rocking ever
Wow.
since.
Was there any particular certifications, anything you had to do to prepare for that management role?
So Starbucks has a pretty extensive process. They have this book that you have to go through. They've changed the name of it, but it's management training.
They don't
And
tell people that.
mm-mm. And so there's a couple different like if something breaks or who to call, what to do, they make sure that we know where to go to get the right thing done. And
Mhm.
it kind of flows into Kroger's policies as well. But Starbucks is very particular about certain things. And so they want to make sure
Mm.
that you have this training. So it took me, I had a couple months to get my book done. And then the district manager comes in, he certifies you. We
Oh,
sit
wow,
there,
nice. Mhm, mhm.
he reads through it and asks a few questions. And that was it. And we had a good conversation. And we went from there. And
Mm.
since my store is in a Kroger, I had to go through a food safety course. So I'm also food safety
Yes.
certified.
Nice.
That took a little while because honestly, I failed my first time. So I had to take it again. But I did very well the next time. So I got it.
Okay. Considering Starbucks is such a hectic place, we ain't even gonna pretend it ain't. You got
Yeah.
people coming in there stressing for the caffeine.
Yes.
What is it that keeps your work-life balance together? Because I know the stresses of Starbucks sometimes can it bleed into your life at
Um,
all?
it does. It does. We were actually my oldest boy, Caden, he
Mhm.
said the other day, like, Mom, you're always at work.
Mm.
And so I know that I work 40 plus hours a week. I know that that's affecting them. I don't get a lot of time at home. I go in at 5:30 in the morning and I should be off at 1:30, but it doesn't always work that way,
No,
especially
because I come in at 2 and I still see you there at 2:30.
yes, and I should have been gone like an hour ago.
Wow, ma'am. That's a good piece of information to know.
Yeah.
So I'll be scurrying you up out of there.
Yes, please and thank you. But it does, it tends to trickle over. And I try not to, especially the past 2 years with having two more children. I said, I can't do this. I have little babies at home, and it is definitely affecting the older ones. I need to make sure that I'm
Mm.
there for all of them equally so we can all spend some time together. 'Cause that's the most important thing to me is my family. And so I leave work at work. I come home now and my phone goes on my personal time and I don't talk to them. I
Wonderful.
definitely have to separate the two. If they need anything, they know who to go to. There's always someone else that they can go and answer the questions for them. But
Nice.
I used to let it, the first 2 years, I would be so stressed out and just worried
Mm.
if something didn't come in. We were running out of something because I didn't order enough or it was misshipped. I was freaking out and it just caused too much stress.
Yes.
And it was always something that it was either out of my control, out of my hands, or um, if it was my fault, I said, well, I didn't order enough or I ordered too much. It is what it is. I had to start telling myself,
Accountability.
yes, take that accountability 100% because
Yes.
it's going to be what it's going to be. You can't let it affect you at home. I get home and I'm stressing out and I'm not
So
happy.
what would you tell the young people as it relates to the stressors of home and work? How would you explain to them that there has to be a balance? How would you?
I think that is important because you need to protect your mental health.
Mm.
You need to protect your mental health.
Okay, I'm writing that down too. Mhm.
We
Take that.
there is nothing worth it. There's no job, there's no person, there's nothing worth sacrificing your mental health. If you are not mentally well, you cannot function.
No job and no person. Let's talk about the person. Can you tell me, is there anything as it relates to, and I know this is going back a little,
No,
um, but can you tell young ladies about the persons that come into our lives that has the ability to create an unnatural pivot for us?
yes. Whew. We need to understand that not just because they're nice, not everyone means you well. Not everyone has good intentions for you, and always listen to your intuition. Pay attention to those red flags because they are out there. When
Mm.
someone shows you exactly who they are, the first time, believe it.
You know, you spoke on so much. We could have a whole show on one, but I'm supposed to be talking about your career. We could do a whole show
I can tell
on,
you about some folks now.
you know, the ills of
Mhm.
being not discerning enough.
Yes.
That's the thing. We think we got discernment down to a science. Next thing you know, we got a crazy person in our life. So
Right.
and they're creating those pivots that we
Mhm.
necessarily were not ready for. So yes, I think that's a great one. Um, so I'm going to ask you this question. Because you say your passion is actually interior design, what makes you get up and go to Starbucks every day and give your best?
You know what? I we have a joke with my employees. When something
Mhm.
goes wrong, I always say I hate it here, and they go, "Me too, Jess." But really, I love the people.
Yeah.
I have a customer that come, Mr. Ben. He comes in and he goes and shops for his restaurant, and he just throws up the peace sign at me. I mean, he wants two of his drinks. So I get them ready for him. We chat a little bit. There's Miss Teresa that works at the back. Just I've met so many wonderful people in there, you included, and it's just
Aw,
they
thank
have
you.
poured so much light into me. So I enjoy coming to work and talking to them. And get I've made wonderful friends there because that was one thing I was worried about moving to a new city was leaving my comfort zone. And
Mm.
I was so afraid of getting out there. I was like, I don't know anyone. Only people that I know here is my mom and my aunt and my uncle. That's it. That's all I knew. And I have started to build my own village. And it
Yes.
has been such a wonderful thing. And it all started at Starbucks. Because one of
Wow,
my best friends,
nice, nice,
Kadisha.
nice. I love that. Well, I have a couple more questions.
Mhm.
And then we're going to go into the wrap up of this particular question. How does your current life relate and reflect on your dreams you had for yourself?
Mm. Well, I think I just kind of take everything a day at a time. Because I know that one day I'm going to have all the things that I've always dreamed about. And I just have to take some baby steps. And I look at it as 10 years ago, before I was here and in the position that I'm in, I didn't have the things that I have now.
Mhm.
And I know that if I keep working towards it, that one day I will have it all. I used to say when I was a kid, I wanted a shoe closet. That was it. It's like
Don't
as
we
long
all
as
still have that dream? That's one of
a
my
little
favorite
bit.
things. I'm like, babe, can we get this
Like I just
closet
need
done?
a closet for my shoes and
Closet
my
done.
bag. But now
That's all I ask.
I want
I
stability and I want my family to be happy and healthy. And so that's really my only dream. I don't have to, it's not about material things, or as long as I can support them forever and always, and build some, because it starts with me. What's the word I'm looking for? I kind of just want them to, we don't have to have a generational wealth, but I want them to be okay. I don't want them to have to work as hard as I have. So that's my dream, just to make sure
You
that
know,
they're okay.
Queen, wealth is relative. And the way that you present in your life, your journey, Queen, you are wealthy.
Yes.
You are wealthy. I've seen in this time that I have interacted with you, spoken with you, hugged you, you're wealthy beyond so many others. Um, I'm so proud to say that I know you. You
Thank you.
know, so I would peek over in that corner. If you wasn't there, I ain't order no coffee. Let's be clear. And you know that. So okay.
Yes, ma'am. I swear, from the first day I met you, you were such a light.
Don't
Me
make
and
me
Kanisha
cry.
was like, this lady, she is just so awesome.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
remember that first day you said, "Hello, Queens," and I just, and it's been consistent, and it just warms my heart every time I see you.
Oh, bless you. And let me just say, listeners, I did not ask ma'am to say that. I love us. You
Yes.
know, and just real quickly, because I don't want to make any of this about me. This is your moment. Um, but I was at the Jazz Fest this weekend in New Orleans, and I was speaking with a very good, good girlfriend. And we were just talking about us and the things that are going on in our community. And I got so full because when I say I love us, I'm in the
So
trenches for us. Because I owe y'all. I owe you all in a way that every day I get up motivates me to do something that moves the current generation and the future generations to a different
mhm.
place. So when I speak to you, it is through humility and grace that somehow I may not have done what I should have done for you.
And I thank you. I thank you so much.
I just want to give it all that I have left on this earth.
Because you always told me that you felt like I had a
You
story to tell. I had to tell my story, and you gave me this platform to do so.
You're
So
brilliant. You're
I say
beautiful.
thank
You are black girl magic. You
and I
never
haven't
let no.
always felt that way.
You are black girl magic. You took a 16-year-old girl who felt pushed to be independent, and you made it queen. You ascended, baby. You ascended. Okay, now
Yes,
let's not have this emotional moment.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna start wrapping this up.
Okay.
And so before I open the floor and let you say what you feel our 15 to 22-year-old youth need to hear, I'm gonna ask you, pick your 15, or pick your 22-year-old self.
Mm.
And what would you say? What would you say to yourself if you had the opportunity to take this 32-year-old queen and sit down with your 15 or 22-year-old self? What advice would you give you?
I would say that You do not need to be afraid. Do not be afraid. Follow your first intuition and just keep striving, keep being great. Stay focused. Don't let anyone knock you off your pedestal because you are capable of great things. One day you'll be full of love and life and happiness, and things may be really difficult right now, but you will be okay.
Amen.
And it's cliche, but it always gets better. It always does.
Amen. Amen, Queen. A moment does not define us. Moment is not our defining factor of life. We got so much to give beyond that moment. So that. So I'm going to open the floor to you. I'm going to give you that final word to give, whatever it is to our youth. Words, wisdom, a moment, whatever it is yours.
I want our youth to know that I, for one, I'm proud of them because these kids are some fighters. And I want them to always know that they are going to be loved and supported, and they need to follow their passions, follow their dreams. If you are set on doing something, you do it. Be great because you are capable of greatness.
Amen. 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 Thank you, Queen. I don't go on emotional roller coaster rides on the podcast, ma'am, but you took me there. And I would just like to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for being an example. Thank you for being the person who has a heart as big as her smile. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'm humbled to you would allow me to know you. Thank you.
Of course. I told you I'd do anything for you.
Oh, girl, no, I just want you to continue to ascend, ma'am.
Love feels love. I felt it from day one, so.
You just gonna make me get off and boo-hoo. So I'm gonna stop recording. So, but we can still talk, but I'm gonna start recording. I gotta find a little button, ma'am, to stop recording. Come on up here, button. Stop. Nope, that stopped the video. Girl, where that man at? I'm scared I'm gonna touch something. See, I didn't touch something. That's not it. Ah! Oh, is it here? Let me call him. We can cut all this part out. Wait 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm back. I tapped the screen. The little square here. There. No. No, stop. Okay.